anytime anyone mentions Bigfoot, you're thinking of the PNW, baby. And we've got filmmaker here, Northwest filmmaker, on the phone with us this morning, Mr. Taylor. Now, Taylor, help me out with your last name. Is it Guterson?
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me on your show. Yeah, you got it. It's Guterson.
Guterson, excellent. All right, Hunting Bigfoot. The film opens at the Majestic Theater on Friday, October 22nd.
Hey, Lance.
Yeah.
What was the Seattle Sonics mascot's name?
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
Squatch.
Sasquatch. Yes.
Bigfoot.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
Oh, I'm telling you, man.
That's how deeply ingrained into the Northwest tapestry the
Oh,
whole idea of Bigfoot is.
so much.
Now we got a movie about searching for Bigfoot?
That's right. Taylor, tell us about it. It's your fourth feature film, right? So tell us about Hunting Bigfoot. How did you ever? Are you a hunter of Bigfoot? How did this ever come about?
Yeah, no, thanks for that question. I moved to North Bend now coming up 8 years this February. And being in this community, started to become aware of folks around here who look for Bigfoot, and in a serious way, or have stories in a very real way, whether in reality or real to them. And I sort of became fascinated with the culture and group of people that are looking for Bigfoot, the people themselves. And so Hunting Bigfoot really centers around one person in particular, John Green, and then a group of others sort of around him that are all really more than focused on, but have dedicated their lives to proving the existence of Bigfoot.
All right, now I got to break in for the serious question. Nut jobs or not?
Yeah, nut jobs or not?
Well, yeah, it's
because that changes the whole direction.
What I found really interesting about this is it truly is a combination of different types of people. There are those types of people that you would consider nut jobs that have a story, and then there's other groups of people that I was frankly very surprised had a story, and a real story to them. People in my neighborhood, people that have, I'm here closer to Seattle, that have jobs at like Microsoft and Amazon and families. Yeah. And in fact, some people didn't even want to participate in the film for fear of how they might come off or
Sure.
look. I understand that.
Sure.
But it really covers the gamut of a variety of different type of people who have these stories. So
you talked to, what's your take? Because I've talked to some of these people, and some of their stories, it makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up, whatever the heck they were seeing. And I don't know if it was Bigfoot or not, but man, some of those stories are pretty darn scary and believable. I don't know what they were seeing, but I believe their stories. Where do you land?
Yeah. Going into the film, like I said earlier, I was really focused on the people who are obsessed with this, and I personally wasn't all that interested, is Bigfoot real or is Bigfoot not? But as we went through the process of filming, which was 5 years, and I heard so many different stories and talked to so many different people, my perspective did change on it a little bit from the standpoint of there's no way that this exists. It's just a fun myth. It's part of the Northwest. There is in my view, a small percent chance that there's actually something to it. And the only reason I say that is because of the stories I've heard, and in particular, an interview I did in the film with Bob Pyle. I don't know if you're aware of Bob Pyle. He wrote this book, Where Bigfoot Walks, Crossing the Dark Divide, and really sort of looks at it all from, I guess, a scientific perspective, if you can call it that. And there's enough in there to say, if you've seen the movie Dumb and Dumber with Jim Carrey, he says, you're telling me there's a chance
Yeah.
When there's, yeah, that's
okay.
sort of where I'm going with this. So
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
I mean, well, that sounds like you're kind of like me. It's like, well, they're seeing something. I'm not saying it's Bigfoot, but it sure seems like there's a possibility you're seeing something weird, or
that's right.
that they just can't be explained. But that's interesting.
Yeah.
So your film is more really just focusing on the people that are looking for Bigfoot.
Well, yes,
I don't
focus
want to
on the people, but it also documents stories that they've had in the past and in the present tense as well, and current things that are happening now. And there are some things that take place in the film because I tracked with John Green for 5 years. I mean, I was out in the forest with this guy for a long time, and there are things that happen to us, to him, and people we spoke to that are strange. I'll put it that way. And so. It is Hunting Bigfoot. The title of the film is Hunting Bigfoot. That's what we are doing in the film. And but sort of, I guess, my interest was really more focused on the people side of it, in terms of why I did it. Yeah.
Tell us a quick story.
Is it sponsored by the Good Feet store?
The Good Feet store.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
I mean, what's a? I mean, in a nutshell story. I mean, the one that kind of really
that you
surprised
found strange.
you. Yeah.
So as the filmmaker, I try not to intervene at all. It's my job to try and document the world of these people and not become part of the world the best I can. You're always going to affect their world just by being there with a camera. You can't deny that. So John has found, and actually did find while we were filming, some what he refers to as samples, some hair samples, some scat samples, and he's taken them to a scientist. Again, I stay out of I don't get into the credibility of who's doing what exactly, but he takes it to a scientist in North Bend who goes to this gym, Mount Si Sports and Fitness, which is sort of how I got connected up with all these people. And according to this guy, Jeffrey Hughes, there is some, unexplained. There's some attributes of these samples that are unexplained, and he can't quite figure exactly what they are.
I've had some scat samples that I can't explain what they were either. Just throwing that out there.
All right. Seriously, though.
All right, go. Sorry. That's too good a joke to leave on the shelf. Come on.
Yeah. Wow. So he's finding that they don't match the grizzly, or the bear or the deer or whatever, right? I mean, that are natural to the area.
That's the idea, and he has theories on what they could be, and but
this is just all so intriguing.
Yeah,
it just really is, which means that your movie is going to be really great. Hunting Bigfoot, a compelling drama, which includes a dose of humor about a man obsessed by an all-consuming quest to verify the existence of Sasquatch he claims to have witnessed.
Now we don't want to give away too much, but we also want to generate enough interest so people will turn out for this.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you could say about what it was that set the hook on this guy, that he would be this all in for this long and this deep with his life? I mean, when you think about that kind of commitment, that's a significant thing, right? So what does it take to engage someone? What can you say that won't give everything away?
In the most simple way to answer that is John had an encounter 10 years ago.
Oh wow!
I mean, now going on 12, I guess.
Oh wow! Okay.
And it clearly changed his life. This encounter, whatever happened, either did happen or in some way it happened in a form that is very real to him.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And do you explain? You go into that in the movie?
Oh, in detail.
Oh, good.
That's sort of the arc of the film. We start by telling his story, his encounter, and then through the film we touch on pieces of John's backstory. His wife passed away, his relationship with his children, his failure of his business, many things that I think can help explain why he's obsessed with this. It gives him some meaning. There's really a human element to this film. It is not all just sort of a Bigfoot movie and comedy, and it really go into depth. I'd say into John's.
I mean, we're taking a look at a guy's life. His center core of what life, the stuff that life throws at us, what that turns you into, right? I mean,
that's right.
Yeah, no, I get you.
If you are listening and you're close to your computer, check it out. huntingbigfootfilm.com. huntingbigfootfilm.com, and I suppose you've got a screener of it right there, right? You could probably link to something to look and learn more about it. But the movie, man, and thank you to the Majestic and a whole bunch of these independent movie theaters that are grabbing this film up, right?
Oh, thank you to Xenon and Lee Savage and Tom Garai and everyone who's pushing, and all the movie theaters. You guys,
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that anyone is even willing to screen this film means a lot to me. I didn't know what was going to happen to it when I made it.
Well, it's interesting. There's something about the human condition and our relationships to each other that anybody who becomes obsessed with something oftentimes can be very engaging to the rest of us, even if we don't care what it is that they're obsessed with. But as we try to understand them and what drives them and how that, delivers something to them, satisfies them in some way, or keeps them so unsatisfied that they continue their pursuit. So, I mean, you really have, if I'm not overshooting here, we really have a case of that, don't we?
Absolutely. And in fact, early on when Lee Savage, he's executive producer and distributor, he said just that about the film, what you just said there, in terms of how the film could be relatable to those who may not be interested in Bigfoot. Because I don't think you have to be interested in Bigfoot to like this movie.
Well,
yeah.
I was just going to say, I think that's true, and that's how, if you find Bigfoot an illegitimate story, then certainly the human story is legitimate to all of us. And I guess I wanted to, because we'll have, we have fun chatting about this kind of thing, but I want to make sure that people know that anytime anybody dedicates their life to something, whether it's tilting windmills, building, electric cars or whatever it is, the elements of their life and what drives them and stuff are all can be very interesting depending on how it's all documented. And I guess that's your job to sell us on all of that. So I wish you much success.
Yeah, good stuff. Great stuff.
Hey, thank you both.
You got it.
If you ever need somebody to write your next promos, man, I think we're on the same page, buddy. I think we are.
Where to go?
Northwest filmmaker Taylor Guterson. Thank you, Taylor. Appreciate it. Film opens at the Majestic Theater in Yakima on October 22nd.